Hi.
Like nothing happened before.
No,
Where
nothing
was I?
happened.
This is take two, and this is episode two of our Godot Dev Catch Up. Yeah, I guess we're going to share progress as to where we got to with our little game challenge you set us.
Yeah, because it sounds like we've both been working on different things.
Hmm.
Was that like? Did you just hold up that Huel bottle like as an advert for Huel then?
I wouldn't mind being sponsored by you. So yeah, sure, why not?
Get
Maybe one day
them to
we get
pay
to the
you
stage.
first. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, there's no format to this. I shared last time. Do you want to share first this time?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe give a recap with what you did, where you got to last time, and then it'll give more context
Well,
as to
just
how far you've got.
right. Okay. So I'll just bring up my code here. Um, I haven't actually gone any further from last time because what I did was I've gone on a journey and I streamed 3 times. So if anyone cares, they can go and rewatch that to see like what I did. But basically, I realized that what I'd done was garbage.
That's very normal.
and yeah, and I'm kind of just like I've basically just gone back over and I'm like gutting everything and starting again. Um,
Why?
so because I think that you need like it's like working from the bottom up, right? So like there's some basic things that need to be done properly to not just like if your foundation is held together with sticks and blue tack, then you're not really going to have any hope of going any further. So, and I know like this is just supposed to be a simple project, but what I'm finding is even making a really simple little practice game, uh, like it starts to get it's so easy for it to get really messy really quickly.
Hmm.
Like I mean I keep saying this, but I was going back through my code. I haven't fixed this, um, but I had like over the course of various nodes and scripts attached to nodes, like 3 different if checks to see to check that the dead zone on the control stick was over a certain value,
Hmm.
and that was just a loose number. It wasn't like an assigned variable or anything. So that
So
was
I think the message I gave to you when you were like just writing a whole stream of nonsense to me in text, going like, I don't understand why things working, and you just just brain dumped the reasons of what was going on in your code, and I was like, I don't know what you're saying, and I said you basically hit complexity explosion. It sounds like is what's happening here, and is it
yes,
just too
but
overwhelming for you to understand what's happening with like all the code you've written?
it was because it was just like a big long mess.
Yeah.
Like it was spread out over various scripts, but generally it could have all just been one script that was a big mess.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like there was it. I guess you would say that it was extremely tightly coupled.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
technical term. There's lots of like technical shit that people say, like refactoring. When else would you say refactoring, apart from in a coding context?
Um, I don't even know what it means. So
Yeah, I find myself always saying the word refactoring at work. It's like, got to refactor this code, and it's just an
yeah, but
excuse to
if
just
you know
rewrite
the
it.
lingo, speaking the lingo impresses people.
It is half the challenge.
That's
Anyway,
how you sound like an expert, as if you know the lingo.
do I sound like an expert?
I think so. You sound very professional. Fills me with
Uh,
confidence when
yeah, it's all a
right,
facade. Yeah, enough chat. Show me the code.
right. So yeah. It's not working right now, but I've got a method. So
You should break it.
but previous, yeah. So what I had is I was really focusing on my player. I wanted to focus on the player movement. Actually, really, I just wanted to get the player like done, I guess that's what I'm doing. Is I want to have the player done and all the the movement. The oh one thing, as I figured out how the state machine works, and I was going to show you.
Okay, yeah. You can have your take two to try to explain how your state machine works, because last time it was an
Yeah,
absolute car wreck of an explanation.
it was. Yeah, I was like, yeah. So it's really simple. It works like. Actually, I have no idea. That was the explanation last time.
I'm actually just about to start implementing my own state machine at the moment, so it's going to be very interesting to see your version.
Yeah. So it is dead simple actually. So you got the
You're
state machine node.
you're not sharing your screen.
I know.
No.
Oh, oops, just my face. And window. Can I just share Godot? I can. There you go. You seeing that?
Yeah, I think we're good. Yep, yep, yep. Just
Okay.
command
Yes.
plus once on that sucker so we can see the code a bit better. And also, you can actually just maximize that code screen with those four arrows on your terminal, because we don't care about anything else. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so handy. How? But you said Control Plus. Sorry, I don't know how to use a Mac. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Okay, that's much better, I think.
Yeah.
Just seeing how
I
that's
do need
coming
to.
out in the
You do
stream.
need to see my.
I think that's okay. I think the quality. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So the state machine is a node.
Also, don't scroll around too much because it goes really blurry.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, the state machine is a node, and it actually runs the scripts. And you can see in the state machine, it has these, unhandled input, process, physics process. These are all the loops where code is injected from scripts into the
Mhm,
game ticks, right?
mhm,
And then you see that so this runs every tick. The
mhm,
state machine does, and what it runs is there's these functions from the states attached to it.
mhm.
And you see that this is the confusing thing. It doesn't have, they're very similarly named, and that's where I got confused.
Where does
So
state
then,
come
if I
from?
state is the class of each of the states. So jumping, landing, running, idle, those are states.
But when do you instantiate the state variable or whatever it is?
That is right at the start, ready. So you see right here, we have a
Interesting.
defined, there's a defined
Okay.
variable state of class state.
Ah,
And when it readies up, it checks it checks to see all of the nodes that are attached to it, which are states, and then it connects to the first one if it hasn't been told specifically what to. It starts with the state which is at the top of the tree, if it hasn't been told specifically to start with a specific state.
what the heck is going on line 6? I didn't know you could use an if statement like that.
Um, well, return if the initial state is null. Yeah, so this is the check. So this is what says, if you haven't assigned the initial state, which I haven't, it's null here. I could assign it by writing in a state name like idle.
Oh, so only get the child if there isn't one. Otherwise, just use it. That's so confusing the way
Yeah.
you written like that. I didn't know you could write an if else
Well,
in one line like that.
yeah. Well, I just copied this.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but that's not how I would write it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's. I mean, that's like some Python shit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like one liner. One liners aren't always good.
Yeah,
One liners are actually unreadable because you have to read it you have to read it in the
yeah. I
middle.
like it.
You have to read it in
I
the
like
middle
it
and then to the
structured
end, and then you
properly.
have to read the beginning.
Yeah, I like it structured properly.
Anyways, that's fine.
Predictable. I'm gonna fix this, but not right now.
Okay.
So then it will check. It'll for every state that is its child. State being a class that is, all of the states are inherit the state class. Uh, then it will connect to them, and it'll wait for the player node to be ready, and then it'll enter a state. And enter is a function that is written into the state class, so it'll run the enter.
Oh, that's gonna be my next question. Yeah, where the hell was state coming from? Okay.
Yeah, so this is state extends node, and then all of the oh no,
Oh, so state GD is your generic state class
yes,
to
yeah,
create state machines. Well, wait, is
yes,
that the right term? Just state nodes in your state machine. Okay.
yes. So
Okay.
all states have this all states have this function,
This. Yeah.
and then for the case of the player, we have player state, which extends from state, and
From
this is
state.
just for use in player.
Okay.
And this is a handy trick that the guy implemented. He's got these constants assigned,
Hmm.
and you assign I guess you're assigning a variable which is of the player class, which is the player node, and it has this ready check, which basically just checks to see if you're using if oh god, it checks to see that the states that you've designed just for the player
Hmm.
are being used in a player node or a player scene.
Hmm.
And if it's not, then it throws out this error which tells you exactly what you've done wrong.
Yeah.
Which I like that.
Makes sense.
This saves on using a load of signals, and it saves you having to write out parent or owner. You can just write player, and
Yeah, because
it's
the state machine should be tightly coupled to your player. Like every state machine will be tightly coupled to its entity. So there's no point trying to make it abstract, right? Otherwise, you just go crazy. Uh, that kind of makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah. I wouldn't
There
use
is a
anything
layer of
more.
abstraction. There is a layer of abstraction in the state,
Yeah,
but these are all just like completely
these are just like pass throughs, aren't they? They're like
yeah.
um, you pass functions into these, and then it kind of off handles it to your actual state nodes, right?
Yes, so these are defined in the state nodes, and these are what the state machine calls.
Yeah, and then you populate these functions in your actual node, right?
Yes, so
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
look
yeah,
at
got it. Yeah. Okay.
when you enter idle, it plays the idle
Hmm.
sprite. This is bad, by the way. This should be a signal probably.
Should
Um,
it? Okay.
I think so. I think this could be a bug one day. And yeah, and then the physics update. So this is fed into the state machine's physics process delta,
Yes.
and this is again this is shit. I don't even want to talk about it, but I'm going to rewrite all of this. Which
Uh,
one's slightly more interesting? I think running's got some. No, actually, I just use physics process delta, and I just use update physics. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so enter physics update. So if I go back to the state machine, so this is the script that's actually running. It has a variable assigned, which is its state. The state is just a string, and signals are what changes the state of the state machine.
hmm.
So when the state is set to idle, which is triggered with signals, this will run idle handle input, idle update, idle physics process,
Okay.
and then when the state name is changed to running, it'll run running handle input, running update, running physics update. So it's really it literally is. It's just like it's just like changing your script.
Yeah. It's just a
Yeah,
switch case, isn't it?
yeah.
This,
And
this
it's
yeah, okay. This is it's quite similar to my approach so far, but I'm curious as to why you need signals.
well the signals. Wait, which signal? The signal to change the state.
Yeah.
Um, I suppose really you don't. You could use anything. Like you could just call owner, or you could just call state machine.
That's what I'm thinking. Because the way I'm going to do it is you literally just call itself. Like I think signals is just a extra layer of noise in a way.
Well, actually, now I think about it, there could be. It could make it easier to, um, like focus in on a particular state if it's complicated. Like, or you, yeah. No, I can
So
think of a few reasons why you might want
like
signals. Like, because you can.
signals are really useful if you don't know what the thing that you're calling is going to perform the action. But like we said earlier, your state machine is tightly coupled to your player. So you might as well pass your whole player class into your state machine so you have access to it. So that means you can actually have functions inside your player that you can invoke inside your state node. So within an attacking state, you can just go player dot, I don't know, thunder attack directly. No signals required. You know that the player is the only thing that will be actioned in your state node, right?
Maybe, but it also might not. Like with signals, for instance, you could have an enemy behavior which reacts differently depending on the state you're in. Like you could have an enemy that runs when you run.
So that wouldn't be the concern of your state machine.
No, but I thinking about like because setting up the signals between the state machine and its states,
Hmm.
that's really easy, and you're not going to lose track of that. Uh, and it does actually leave some freedom to use that signal elsewhere, because it's a pretty like obvious signal, right?
Hmm. So yeah, okay,
And
fine.
if there is a state, and if there's multiple things in the player, like multiple nodes in the player that need to react to a state change, they can all receive the same signal as well.
No, okay, no,
Whereas
that makes
you would have
sense.
to send multiple you would have to send like multiple calls to multiple nodes otherwise.
No, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. But that actually goes to my point of what I just said. Like signals only make sense if you don't know what the thing is going to action that signal. So actually emitting signals in your nodes does make sense for external entities, not for your player to react to. You know what I mean? So at the moment, you're just focusing on player movements. You don't need to emit something out of your state node to get your player to action something. That's just extra work for yourself. Just call player dot function or whatever you want to do. But yeah, you probably do need to
No, no,
emit
no,
things out.
the signals go to the state machine.
The signals go to the state machine. That still
Yeah,
seems
like
like the same thing,
that's how
though.
it changes. Like, see, when you
Okay.
want to change state, you emit a signal to switch to the state you want to switch to.
Yeah, that still seems like noise. Just go dot state dot update and then pass in your key like um is on floor like whatever. I don't know. I think, I mean, this is just a challenge for you. I think this would be cleaner without signals. Is kind of my gut feeling here. I'm gonna try to implement my state machines without signals. So be interesting to see where we land on this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Where would it? like, I mean, I guess if you,
Like,
yeah,
because
I'm trying to think of it if there's a thing that would like get really fucked up by doing a call. Like it would become tedious, and why signals are
I think there's
more useful.
um, I can't like when you're tightly coupling your player inputs to actions they can perform. It's like a one-to-one relationship to what they can actually do. Like signals are like broadcasting to lots of different things, but it's a player with specific states. So yeah, you can use signals to trigger an event to perform an action, but I feel like you can just jump that skip. You can just jump that step entirely, potentially. Um, yeah, I mean, and I bring this up because I watched a couple of YouTube videos that was talking about uh, state machines combined with signals, and I was thinking like, why do you need signals when? Because unless you don't know what state machine unless you wanted your state machine to be really abstract and to perform to lots of different entities. But I think it's cleaner to have like custom state machines specific to your entities, either your player, your enemies. They will have their own snowflake state machines. I think that makes sense, right? So just make them tightly
I
coupled is
think
what I'm
it,
saying.
yeah, it kind of does make sense, but I'm just thinking like there must be a reason because I feel like the noob thing to do, like the less like the thing I would have done before I knew about signals is uh I would have been like state machine dot
Update, update states.
state.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even bother with that. I'd have been like state
equals.
machine state equals
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
idle.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Right? You just skipped a whole bunch of shit by doing that. Right?
But why so then why don't we do that?
Well,
uh
okay, like actually back to your solution, like what if you wanted your enemies to react to when you're on the floor? Maybe it stops running after you when you're crouching on the floor. You would have to emit a signal for that. Because
yeah.
then the enemy could subscribe to that event and be like, okay, now I can't see your player for some reason because he's crouching or whatever. That would make sense. But to actually invoke your state machine to perform some work, this is so much faster and cleaner.
But
Is it
is
wrong?
it
I don't think it's wrong.
is it more efficient?
Yeah, because
Like
then it's not
is it
like
an
you're
efficient?
not like shooting out an object for something to catch. It's just you're just calling it directly. It's like way more uh like
It's true.
it's like straight to the point, right?
Oh, is it? Ah, is it so that you can? Is it for state trees? Is it when you've got state trees and you need to use the same state? You've got the same state showing up in the state tree at various points.
Hmm. I don't know what you mean.
Like like if you've got a branching state pattern,
Yeah.
then you can
So
yeah if you have a branching state pattern and you could reuse the same state if it was using you could reuse the same state script multiple times in the tree and it would work fine, but it wouldn't necessarily work fine if you did it this way.
I don't know. Okay, let's talk about like a practical example, right? So you would have a branching state machine if you could only perform another action if you were in You can only perform an action if you were in a specific state. So let's imagine your player had a jumping attack. So the player could only perform the jumping attack if they are in the state of jump, right?
No, this isn't
No, you're talking about something
that.
else.
That no, yeah, something else.
But
So
that's
it's
that's
like
a
it's
nested
a
state machine,
no. That's not
is
because
it not?
that's just no. That's simple. That is just like you. Okay, you're in the state jump, and if you now press attack while in the state jump, then you do a jump attack.
Okay, so that's probably a bad example then. So
Yeah, more a better example would be Super Mario 64's double jump and triple jump.
okay, let's talk through that then.
So yeah, Super Mario 64, you're running and you do a jump,
Hmm.
you do a normal jump. If you jump immediately after doing a jump, you do a high jump, and then if you jump immediately after doing that, you do a triple jump. So in
Oh yeah,
that you're jumping, you're landing, and you're in a landing state, but there's different behavior.
based on timing though, isn't it?
No, it's based on the events that preceded it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
so there's another branch to that as well, which is if you do the first jump and you're not moving fast enough, you can't do a triple jump. So there's a branching state. There's literally a branching state at the very moment that you jump for the first time when you do your single jump. You either go to a jump that could eventually lead to a triple jump, or a jump that can't lead to a triple jump based on your initial speed. So those would be that would be.
It's actually interesting because now I think about it, I actually don't think I would solve that with a state machine. It actually, that to me, that sounds like a queuing. I would queue up actions and have I would have actions that can be performed if certain states were in a particular time. So you've jumped once within a second.
Yeah, but doesn't that sound like an absolute nightmare to tinker with,
I don't know.
and really terrible to visualize? Like if you're like it's like if that was like your only problem,
Mm.
but bearing in mind like this is the sort of thing you have to come back to and fiddle with, then you might decide to like scrap the whole thing altogether. Like states and like this is state machines with signals is really flexible.
Okay, I don't. So this example that you've just presented, the triple jump in Super Mario, like
Yeah,
is I don't think that's it, like going like bringing this full circle. If you had to um, update your state machine in this manner, I don't think that would be a problem still, would it?
well it would when you start fiddling with your nodes. I can see it like getting confusing. Like you wrote your state you wrote your state machine 3 months ago,
Hmm.
and then you want to change your player behavior, and you've got branching trees, and there's three states that are all called jump, but actually all three are different because they're all calling a specific state machine, and then you move one, and the whole program breaks, and you're like, I don't even understand what the hell is going on. But that wouldn't
I
happen with signals.
I can't see why signals would solve that problem still.
Well, with signals, you would if you moved. Oh, God, it's like it's this is complicated to explain, and I don't think I know it well enough. Like, okay, like say I'm gonna
Oh,
like
by the
draw it
way,
out. Okay,
there's a drawing
so
function on this
you're
tool.
idle. Can you see this?
No, but I was just about to say there's a drawing function
So
in
you're
this.
like you're running. You're in the running state,
Wait, Dan. I mean, Tech Boy.
and then you can, if you're going fast, you can do a jump, and then you can. Oh God, I'm going to run out of space really fast. You can jump and do a double jump. I can't spell. I'm just going to write 2 jump, and then you can go to a 3 jump. But you can also go back to idle. You can go back to idle. Or if you're going slow, you can go to jump, 2 jump, but you can't go to 3 jump. So your only option there is idle. The only option there is idle. Right. These jumps are different. These 2 jumps are different. They have the exact same behavior, except for the state changes that are available to them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this, if with signals, you could actually have these two, like the 2 jump and the jump. They could use the exact same scripts with signals, and in this case, if you've gone down this path and you try to do a triple jump, it'll send out a signal, but nothing will receive the signal, and you won't do the triple jump because it won't be available to the state machine as an option, and the game will continue running. If you use this tightly coupled method, all of these would need to be their own script because they're different. If you tried to use the same one and this tried to call, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just got your screen maximized. Hello? Testing. Hello?
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
What? Why can't you hear me? Let me join and rejoin. Hold on.
Did mute you?
Did you mute me? I don't know. Maybe you did.
I don't know.
Hello?
Hey, sorry. I think my cable came slightly unplugged. Yeah, sorry.
I
You can't
was
even see this. I should
I
help this
was
up.
talking to you the whole time saying there's a drawing function in this website.
Is there?
And I
Ah,
was like,
shit.
why? I was like, why are you not responding?
Oh, I couldn't hear you. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I've done it on here now. Yeah. So,
Okay, just start
do you
speaking.
get what I'm saying?
I think so. I still think you could work around this without signals, but I don't know how yet. And maybe this could be a challenge for us to both implement a triple jump mechanic and see how we do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be a good challenge.
I do think the signals are less likely to break and fuck everything up when you forget, because that's the issue with having things coupled, right? Is it's like once you start tweaking, things break and you're not exactly sure why. Because like
Yeah.
if the node sends a signal up, then it doesn't matter if the signal's never received. It can always send the signal.
Hmm. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. I'm starting for some reason. I think signals are useful. I'm just feeling a bit apprehensive about them. I don't know why. I feel like they can cause a web of uncertainty, but I
If you
need to
use
play with
like
them more.
signals on everything, then yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
I
think
think you just gotta
that's
be
um,
sensible, like because your options are, well, as far as I know, like the main options are you got you do global, you signal, or you call things specifically.
mhm.
Like sometimes it makes sense to do all of them, right? But you don't want to have everything global, and you don't want to have everything signals, and you don't want to have everything calls. It's like when it makes sense to do that, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, actually, I mean, I think what you described makes a lot of sense. I can totally see how Signal solves that problem with the way you explained it.
Yeah. In
Um,
fact, I have written two other things which are examples of the other two approaches being used, I think, sensibly. So I can move on
okay.
to them if you want.
Yeah, sure, go for it. Wait, how long do we have?
I don't know. Uh, I think we've been on here like over half an hour now.
Yeah, I'll probably have. Let's try and keep these to an hour if we can.
Yeah, I think so. All right, right. I'll speed it up. So yeah, the state machine. We got really sidetracked here. Just trying to.
Yeah.
Limit. Hang on, I'll just put that back. Okay, yeah. So my camera. I'm really happy with this camera.
Face camera.
Yes. Wait, is that right? No, that's not it. That's my old one. Viewport controller. Yeah. You see, it's got a shitload of variables. You're like, wow, this is it. So this does the same thing. It has a check to make sure that it's attached to the right node in case it gets put in the wrong place. So if it's not attached to a camera 3D node, it'll say, you know, sort it out, you idiot. And I stole this trick from the from the state machine script that I
How does
borrowed,
it
which
know
I
it's
think is actually
How does it know it's a camera 3D?
well, it grabs the parent node with the get parent,
Yeah.
and then it assigns the it it assigns this variable viewport, which I think was a bad name because viewport means something else. And then it tries to write the parent node as a camera 3D, which will fail if it's not a camera 3D. So if the viewport comes back as a null value, then
Oh, are you sure that's how as works?
um,
I don't think.
yes. So it as will make it that variable.
Um, I
So
don't
you
think
could
there's.
have like one as a float, and then you would have one as a float.
So you're saying if viewport isn't a camera 3D, the whole script just blows up?
No, it uses this assert function, so it prints
So
this and closes the program.
okay, that's interesting. I don't know. I'm just challenging because that as keyword performs differently in TypeScript. Like in TypeScript, as means trust me, this is a camera 3D. And I think on line 20, I think you're basically just saying, um, as long as it's not a nullish object, then it's fine. I think that's how I'm reading that at the moment, but maybe I'm wrong about how the as keyword works in GDScript.
Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. Like I just assumed. I assumed based on this. This is the only time I've ever used as. So I don't know why I'm talking like I know what it means. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I will look it up. Yeah, I'll put that on my list of things to learn.
I don't, I don't think line 20 is actually doing anything, but yeah, double check that.
No, it does. I've checked
But
it.
I
I can
think
show. I can show you it working.
no, it will work because it's always going to return an object. That's why. I don't think it's actually checking for it to be a camera 3D. I think it's just
No,
checking
it
to see.
is. It is.
Okay.
If I run the program and the node is not
Okay.
on a camera 3D, it gives out the error.
Okay, fine. Okay, no, I'm wrong then.
Yeah, it does
Okay,
work. I tested it.
okay, good. No, I got
Yeah,
confused. Okay, fine. Carry on.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, it has this one check to see if the camera free is on. Yeah. So I input mapped a button camera free. If I press the C key, then the camera turns from a. I'll show you the camera working. Yeah.
I'm
So
free.
fixed it.
I am free.
So right now only the jump works.
You're still sharing your GD script. Your
Ah
Godot.
shit. Um. Uh. How do I change that? I guess I Window. Yeah. Okay. Right, the camera moves really slow right now because
Whee! Why is he
I was
dancing?
testing it. Yeah, he's just because he thinks he's jumping because I just deleted the thing that sends him back to idle from. Right. So yeah, see, I've got the camera rotating. It's very slow because I was debugging it side to
Okay.
side, but also check this out.
Oh.
Up and down. I've got full 3D rotation, man. Whoa, it's so slow. And also, if I press C, wait, it's one of these keys. What was it? Which button was it? There you go.
Oh, free
It's a bit
cam.
jank, but I've got free cam.
It's free cam. So what's
It's
happening? So
free
are
cam.
you are you connecting to the actual camera of the scene? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I need to show you the node. So basically, in main, so the main node of the scene. So that would be in the level. There is a camera, and attached to that camera is a node called camera control, and it
Oh,
is just a node with a script.
yay.
So this will this can rotate around any 3D node and then go free cam if it wants to. Like it's the movement's really jank, but that's because I didn't see any reason to have it anything other than this. Like I couldn't be bothered to make it smoother. Oh, and it's got mouse look as well.
Ah, that's kind of cool.
So I'm moving it with a mouse.
But why? Why did you make this?
Why did I make it? Because I wanted to see if I could.
So it was this is what's called what's the word? It's a very crude term, but I'm gonna say it wrong. I think it's something along the lines of like technical masturbation.
Well, you could call it that, but I also think it will be very useful. Like in playtesting, for instance, when during level designing, it would be very useful to have a free cam to check that the level makes sense. You don't always want it tied to the camera, tied to the player.
But that's what the Godot 3D inspector's for.
Uh well, no, and well, okay, but also, so I put in the free cam actually to test the functionality of the camera
Okay.
because I
But wait,
want
hold on.
the
Because hold on, wait. Because to set the scene, like you said, we're creating a 2.5D action kind of slasher kind of game.
yeah
When are you ever going to go free cam in that genre of a game?
a cutscene
Um, um, I was gonna.
scripted event. Like like you could really wow people by suddenly having the perspective change.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
No, okay.
I'm imagining it in my head, like for instance, I thought, it's 2.5. You're calling it 2.5D, but it's 3D, right? But with this camera that I've written it, you could have a section that becomes a 2D side scroller, and you wouldn't need to rewrite any camera at all. Like this camera would work for both instances,
Okay. I mean,
and
no
it and
doubt
it
that is going to be useful. Um, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll give you that.
yeah, it's cool, and it's all in one node. It's just a node that you pop on the camera, and the camera does the stuff. So,
Can you show me it in the node graph?
yep, here it is. Yeah, camera 3D viewport control.
Oh, so viewport control is your node that you created yourself.
Yeah,
Ah, so you pop that onto that, and so this is your main scene, yeah? Okay.
yeah.
Oh, cool. So the
Wait,
moment
wait. So
you
this is the camera that follows the player. That is not the camera 3D is not attached to the player.
okay, so the viewport control is set to that. So that means it gets inputs for C or whatever it was, and how does it know what to like pivot around?
You tell it, and it does use signals.
I think this is actually a perfect case for signals because you don't know what the thing
Yeah,
you want it to, like I said before, you don't know what the thing it's gonna connect to it is.
yeah. So it takes the signal. It receives a signal, which is the position vector of the player.
Oh, so it receives a signal.
Yes, it receives a
Oh,
signal from the object
so
that it.
you had to get your player to emit that signal.
Yes, but also if I wanted it to, now I'm thinking about it, it would be quite easy to
Make it
do
dynamic.
the thing that you, yeah, make it dynamic. Like you could say, you could tell it, get nodes from parent. If node has this name, then take its position vector, and that would work. Yeah, then you just be able to write in the name of the thing that you want it to follow, and that's actually way better. And I'm going to do that.
Hmm. Do you think you're getting distracted?
I think I am focusing on one thing at a time,
Okay.
and I think that by doing this, I am learning a lot. And it is a distraction, but the aim, like, if I wanted to just make a game, I would have followed the tutorial to the end.
But wasn't this the whole reason why we started learning Godot?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't want to just make a game. I want to make a good game, and a
Okay.
good game is going to need a good camera.
But okay. We'll
And
come back.
and
We'll come
and
back to that.
yeah, but look, if
I think
if
yeah, no, it's good. You're learning shitloads clearly, and you're putting your maths to work,
yeah,
which is
like,
nice.
yeah, and this, like, I could not have left the camera as it was attached to the player, because eventually it would have become a problem. And it's like, it's a bad design decision. It's a bad way of structuring the code, because, like, and it would have led to me making ridiculous things. Like, okay, so say, like, oh, okay, I've got a camera that follows the player, and then we decide somewhere down development that we want the camera to focus on something else. How do you make that player attached camera node move to something else? You probably don't. You probably put another camera somewhere else, and then you need to have a script that, like, handles which camera is being used at which point. And it's like that. You can see how that would quickly become a bit crazy, right?
Yeah. No.
Whereas if you have a versatile camera that can just look at anything you want it to, and can follow any movement instructions, and you can give it, you can tell it to interpolate between one position and another, then you never have to change the camera. You just have one camera in every scene, and you don't have to, like, there's no risk of it coupling to anything.
Made a versatile camera tool. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, no, it is a good idea. I respect good engineering in terms of creating software that can be reused in sorts of different contexts. But I'm also
Yeah.
a fan of actually shipping stuff. So it's a hard balance for sure.
Well,
And
I literally, I only spent about 3 hours on this.
okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's not like I've spent like 5 years on it. It's not even very long. Look at it.
We I'm choking on a
It's
blueberry. Oh man, I need some
yeah,
water.
it's only 75 lines, and half of it is spacing. You know.
Isn't there a method that actually keeps the camera pointed at a node? Is that have you written all of this yourself to make it kind of pivot around a node?
Yes, so I'll explain how it works. So I've got the inputs. This is camera movement. Ignore that. No. I need the, yeah. These are the camera movements. So what it does is it takes its previous position and updates. At the start, before it updates, it keeps track of its last position, because that might be useful at some point. I think I was going to use that somewhen, but I didn't. Uh, it emits its angle change, because there are lots of things that rely on knowing what the camera's rotation is, including movement inputs. So I'm just throwing that out there because I don't know what's going to need it whenever. Because I don't know if you experienced this, but when you rotate the camera, your controls don't rotate automatically. You have to do that. You have to code that yourself.
Sorry, I
Did you know
blacked
that?
out. I like wasn't listening for like 10 seconds. I don't know why. Can you say that again?
Oh,
I like just so
yeah.
interested.
It's because I said signals, and you're like, "Oh God, he's talking about signals again."
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
it throws out its Y rotation
Okay,
because
yeah.
there's a few things that I know will need to know what the rotation of the camera is around the Y-axis,
Okay, yeah.
and I don't know what will in the future. So I think that's a good signal.
But nothing actually
Like, right?
uses it.
No, it does. It does. The input handler for the analog sticks uses this,
Okay.
and also the animation handler for knowing which direction of sprite to play will need it. So there's two cases that need it at least at the moment. I haven't written that. I haven't written the animation handler yet, but I know it's going to need this.
Okay.
And then basically I've got this variable arm, which is the length. It's basically the pivot that the camera moves around whatever entity is pointed at. It loads that into the arm is based off the length of the arm, which is a defined variable which is exported, so you can change it in the editor. Handy dandy. That is rotated by a global function that I wrote. I just got off the internet, a maths website, and turned it into a function. I've got an X rotation matrix and a Y rotation matrix. The order in which it's multiplied is important. Always do X first, then Y.
I was going to ask why, but I don't care.
Well, I could try and explain it to you if you want, but you'll die.
I think I'm already dying.
Yeah. It's
It's a lot of maths.
I'm not going to try and explain this, but basically it uses this a property called a basis.
What basis?
A basis is it's a 3x3 matrix that contains rotation information for any 3D object, any 3D node.
It's not going in my head. I heard
Okay,
matrix,
I can actually show you. I can actually show you what a basis is.
Yes, thank you.
So when you got a 3D object,
Mhm.
I don't know, and you look at it, you put it in the inspector, and it gets these things around it.
Mhm.
So
That's
these are no.
Oh.
This is Euclidean geometry.
I know what Euclidean geometry is. That's when it's
Yeah.
normalized. Is that right? Is that the right term?
Yeah, it's looking at rotations, or it's this, right? So you've got your Y, your Z, your X axis, and you can rotate it around axis, and you can move it along axis. And it's like how we think about graphs, basically.
Mm.
But when it comes to computing, this is shit. So you can actually go down into your transform here, and you can have it. So here's Euler geometry, not Euclidean.
Oh.
So this is Euler, which is very usable for a person, but there are issues that make it kind of shit in computers. And then you've got the basis, which is a 3x3 matrix that has X and Y variables. And matrices are good because you can do maths with them, and it's very efficient. So anytime you're doing a transformation, like on the it doesn't affect the moving it doesn't change it. That changes its position variable. But if you do rotations, then that starts affecting the basis.
So it makes the maths easier.
It makes the maths possible.
Oh, so that's the
If you,
basis. Ah. So
yeah,
when mathematicians say matrix, they're just talking about a, a like a grid.
yeah, a matrix. It, as someone who codes, I could tell you that a matrix is an array.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah,
Wait,
it is literally an array.
isn't a matrix a like two-dimensional array? Like it goes down and it goes that way.
A vector is a two-dimensional array.
Oh, okay. Now I'm really
So yeah,
confused.
it would
Wait,
be. It would
so a
think of
matrix
it
is
as like an
one-dimensional then?
no. A matrix can be as many dimensional as you need it to be.
Hmm.
But again, thinking
Because
with
some people say
thinking
arrays are one-dimensional. Like,
that's dumb.
is it?
Well, I mean, an array is one-dimensional because it only has. But you can have an array of arrays,
Yeah,
right?
and
And then
then it becomes two-dimensional, and so forth,
yeah, and
right?
or
Okay.
an array of arrays. That's
Yeah.
then three-dimensional.
Yeah. Okay. Well, oh wait, hold on. So
So
because
so a basis is an array
a
of
of an
arrays,
arrays.
and they're all three.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's only two-dimensional. Basis is only two-dimensional.
That's what I just said.
Shit, yeah, you're right. The basis, no, you said matrices are two-dimensional.
Oh, is that what I
Matrix
said?
isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, matrix isn't necessarily two-dimensional, but the basis is two-dimensional. Yeah,
Basis
it's
of two.
3 by 3,
Okay.
so it's the
Okay. It's okay.
yeah.
That kind of makes sense. So you're manipulating the basis using code.
Yeah, so in maths, there are handy dandy functions and things you can do to matrices, and all of that stuff is used to handle rotations
Hmm.
with your basis.
Is that trigonometry?
No, it's actually just multiplication and addition.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
there's nothing fancy.
There's no angles
There's
involved.
no, well,
Oh.
I mean, there can be because you want to work with angles, but you don't need an angle to do a transformation on a basis.
Okay. Interesting.
I
All right.
have functions. I have functions that take an angle and turn them into a basis.
Hmm.
I can show you them if you want. They're in my global. Is it level here? So yeah, if I want a rotation in if I want a rotation along the x-axis by an angle, then I put this in and it does this with some trigonometry,
So there is
and it returns a
trigonometry.
basis. I said there can be.
Okay.
If you want to work with angles, the trigonometry is used to turn the angle into a vector.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a different function for y, x, and z rotations, and like once you got these written, it's actually kind of easy
Hmm.
because you don't you don't have to think about how they work. Just yeah,
I
the math is
see.
actually kind of efficient. We're running out of time here. Anyway, yeah, we've already gone over an hour,
Oh
and
man.
I have my wife, but yeah. What
Well,
was I doing?
you've hogged the whole hour up now. When am I going to show you my
I
stuff
have.
again?
What a bastard I am. Well,
Yeah.
because we keep
Well,
getting sidetracked talking about signals and shit.
this is your fault. Right. I'm gonna have to
Do
be
you want
better
to do
host.
another?
I'm gonna.
I only showed two of the things two out of my three as well.
You gotta get more concise. All
I
right.
would
Well,
be if you wouldn't stop asking me so many questions.
wow. I wouldn't be a very good. Am I interviewing you? Is this what we're doing?
Well, I guess we're quizzing each other on each other's code.
Okay.
We're too interested in in this stuff,
Are
aren't
you
we?
out of time now, or shall we call it there then?
I'll go like super fast and do the rest.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, this this works on signals, and I think it's a good use case for signals. And then I got my input control, and this. Oh god, what does it even do anymore? This is my calibration matrix, but now instead of taking the input, it actually uses it. It grabs the input event and it uses the unhandled input action, and it makes it into an array and it uploads it as a global. Because having inputs as globals makes sense. Godot already handles inputs as globals, global singletons. So why not maintain that going forward? I think it just seems logical.
What does the unhandled input thing actually do? I keep seeing it everywhere.
Well, what it does is it grabs an input that hasn't been handled by the GUI, and it does that multiple times a tick. This isn't restricted by delta, so this happens as often as it possibly can.
Oh, so you just put your calibration logic in here?
Yeah, but it's kind of like a lot of effort on the program. It's not efficient right now.
Yeah, I can't imagine. So it's just running this function every single moment, every FPS. That's a lot, right?
Yeah, but this is just for the calibration. So I want to set it up so that once it's certain that you've accurately calibrated, it just stops running.
That would make sense.
Yeah. I had some trouble getting it work, so yeah, I've got all these print things here showing.
Print.
I will just show you the calibration working because this does actually highlight it quite well. So you see, so the stick's in the middle right now, and it's actually reading a magnitude of, even though the stick angle is at 0, it's still actually reading a magnitude of 0.22, and that's why you need a dead zone, because otherwise the character would be moving even though I'm not doing any with the control stick. So now you see, if I move my stick directly up and just sort of slowly turn it around, that the second line up is showing the length of the vector, and I never want that to go above 1, which it would do without this. As you see, as I slowly rotate the stick round, you can see the angle, the segment changing as I rotate it. It's staying close to 1, maybe just slightly lower than 1, but it's never going over 1. And that's in all directions. I get a nice normalized reading there. So once you rotate the stick once, that's it. It's calibrated, and it never ever goes over.
I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm just seeing a lot of numbers.
Okay, I could talk you through it, but it would take a long time. And I really need to go probably soon.
Okay, well, we've got there. It's an hour. I guess I'll show you my stuff next
I'll tell you what. Yeah, you can show me all your stuff next time. Sorry, I feel like a right hog.
Yeah, you just like hogged the limelight, and then you talked about boring signals.
Yeah, but because I was really excited
and now the stream's over. This is a car crash of a stream.
Go away and think about what you've done. Okay, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better.
You're the host. You're supposed to manage this.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. I'm going to do better to allocate slots for both of us in the next stream.
It's a learning process.
Yeah. That's good. Oh, there's something I do have a funny anecdote.
Go for it.
I was on one of my streams. I spent about like an hour and a half trying to write some crazy thing that made sprites always face the camera, and then some really helpful guy came in and he was like, "Wait, why don't you just turn on billboard?"
You idiot! Stop reinventing the wheel, man.
I didn't know it existed. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
Okay. Happy next time.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready. Sorry. Bye.